Hello everyone, and today we're going to talk about the huge change coming into TFT, which is basically more armories and crazier armories. As you can see in a tweet made by the TFT team, on PBE right now and coming on live in 11.12, which means basically in 2 weeks because we just had patch 11.11, Armories will have a lot more to offer a bit more often. I'm going to read the changes real quick for you, and then I'm going to explain what they are and how I feel about them. On PBE right now, Armories will be appearing as normal in stage 2.2 and 4.2, which is what we're used to. Right now on 2.2 you get a choice of shadow component and a regular component. On 3.2 you usually get 2 normals, and then on 4.2 you get 2 shadow and 2 normals. But now that's gonna change. 2.2 and 4.2 won't change at all, but 3.2 will have a chance to drop on this new kind of armory. I don't know if they're still called normal armories, but let's call them super armories just for the sake of it. There's going to be a change to switch the regular armory to a super armory, I think. Right now it's not super clear, but I think that even if it doesn't get triggered, you're still going to get the 2-component regular armory that we're getting right now. But there's also going to be a chance on 5.2, 6.2, and 7.2. A lot of the games you're gonna get to 5.2, right? If you didn't get to 5.2, then that's rough. You know, you had a bad game. But this means that there will be at least a chance that you get one more armory than regular. But you have to remember, like, these are not guaranteed. They have a chance to drop there. All players will gain access to the armories at the same time, which means that if you get a super armory, everyone in the lobby gets one at the same time, which obviously is necessary. That would be hyper dumb if someone would get a regular one and someone else gets a full item off of them. Which brings me to the point: the contents of these super armories are completed items, special items like the Nico. Everyone knows what Nico does. It copies a champion. The Reforger, just to refresh your memory, the Reforger can be used on a champion to unequip all items and randomly transform them into new ones. I think the Reforger as an item isn't super interesting. Just because completed items, you basically never want to reforge them unless you made like a D-claw and maybe you don't need it at the end of the game. Reforging components can be really useful. So if you can slam a component on someone and reforge it, might be useful. Overall, I don't think this is the best item of the bunch. And there's the loaded dice, which is absolutely bonkers. Use on a champion to reroll a special shot that contains only none-chosen, which doesn't apply to this set, but contains only champions sharing a trait with the source champion. So if you, let's say you use the loaded dice on a Mordekaiser, you'll be offered a shop that will have Legionnaires and Dragon Slayers, which is usually hyper strong. There's always like a few shops that have, there's always a few champions that have like specific traits, which can be really useful. Let's take Teemo, for example. Using loaded dice on a Teemo almost guarantees you to watch a lot of Teemos and a lot of Hellions, which is always useful in this comp. If you use it on Garen, then you have a high chance to also get other Garens because of the God King trait. It's not as powerful if you unfortunately hit most Dawnbringers. Loaded dice is a very polarizing item, and I understand why. Someone who gets a loaded dice basically is able to be like super strong because it almost guarantees you hit, right? Versus someone who gets the Reforger. I mean, I feel there's a huge gap in power level in these two items. The consensus right now of the community is they'd rather not see the loaded dice being implemented. Honestly, I would just wait and see how it feels, everything in this particular set. But I am not too keen on the power differential between the two. Maybe there's something I don't see in Reforger, but right now I think there's a huge power discrepancy, and I would hope that is removed. You can also get an item remover, which I absolutely adore. Sometimes you have a temporary carry. You don't necessarily want to sell them to transfer the items. So I kind of like the item remover. I think it has some options. Instead of like greeting, this allows you to slam items a bit earlier and make sure that you can transfer them properly after. So I like the item remover as an item. Player who survives to 5-6 stage should expect to see about 1 or 2 of these new armories, in addition to the classic armories that'll drop as normal. However, there's also a chance you won't see any even if you don't take an 8th. So we'll see. 1 to 2 per game means that overall we'll see more items, more choices. Honestly, I think the armories are one of the best addition to TFT. I really like how it helps skew RNG in your favor, helps you being flexible with items, help you hit the items that you want. I've always been a fan of them. Adding more of them and more special is kind of okay. I think more of them is great for sure. It's just I'm kind of scared about the item discrepancies and the power that it's gonna give, because components can almost always make a good item, but completed items sometimes it can be quite polarizing. It's like the dragon drops, right? Sometimes you get a Ginsu on your Heimer and it's really, really, really good. And sometimes, you know, you get a Declaw when there's like no AP carries in this lobby and it just absolutely sucks. It's part of the game. You know, TFT has RNG. You have to deal with it. And I don't think TFT is a game of luck, but you do have to deal with this RNG and try to control it as good as you can. So hopefully when people actually like get completed item choices, there's more than a choice. And I don't know if there's going to be like an algorithm that will propose like decent-ish items instead of you know, completely random one. That could help, because let's say you get a Bloodthirster when you're a full AP comp, that just really sucks. You don't need it. So I don't know if there's going to be anything of the sort, but I do like that they're trying to add some things, right? I think this is one good thing about TFT, is that they're always changing things, always trying to make the game better, and I can definitely get behind that. The last thing I can drop from these super armories are the emblems, which I think is interesting. There are some emblems that are really strong, especially since in the new patch that is coming, they are going to add more chase traits, which means right now a chase trait is something like Hellion 7. There's not 7 Hellions in the game, there's only 6, so you need a spat to actually get the 7th trait buff. Same thing for Legionnaire 8. I think those traits are interesting. They make the spatula a lot more interesting as an item, and getting emblems can totally change your strategy, right? I think this is more interesting to have like a super armory that gives emblem instead of like spatula carousel start, which is not my favorite start. So I think this is a better way to make people use emblems. I honestly cannot wait for this change. I think 11.12 is going to be a fine patch. Right now 11.11 brought a whole lot of new strats, much better patch than 11.10. So I'm really happy about that. I will keep you guys aware to all the changes that are going to happen to these super armories. If there's new stuff coming out in the new TFT patch, I will make sure that you guys are the first to know. And until then, subscribe for more TFT content.